President Joe Biden asked to solve a fatal dilemma. Nikita Bizin of Real MLordandGod. Polls show that most American Catholics have a negative view of Joe Biden's politics, and this is before the midterm elections, which will take place November 8th. The Novosti report explains why the president disappoints Catholics. It did not satisfy everyone. Joseph Biden, the Democratic president, strongly urging members of his party to vote. They now control both houses of parliament. He wants to seek a second term to consolidate his position, a source close to the White House told the media. As it turns out, this active campaign of the head of state was not unfounded. First, according to the latest poll, 49% of voters favor the Republicans. For Democrats, it's 45%. Even such a small difference could be decisive for the U.S. Second, Biden has a serious problem with the nuclear electorate. We are talking about Catholics, including himself. Nearly 60% of co-religionists think the incumbent should not run in 2024, nor do they generally support the current course of the Democratic Party. Considering that nearly a third of the country's citizens, about 70 million, are Catholic, that's a third, are Catholic, Republicans could have another trump card in their pocket, but what was it that Catholics did not like? First of all, problems in the economy. Believers worry about inflation. 81% of respondents said so, and they drop it in the Oval Office. Anti-abortion rally outside the U.S. Supreme Court. Another reason was the issue of abortion. Over the summer, the Supreme Court overturned women's constitutional rights to terminate the pregnancy. Biden responded strongly. He signed an executive order to preserve the confidentiality of abortion clinic clients, and he spoke in favor of creating a network of mobile clinics for abortion. About two-thirds of Catholic voters strongly disagree that the state should fund such centers. As for abortion itself, opinions were divided. Only 8% were in favor of a complete ban. The majority of respondents, about 80%, considered the argument to be strong, but in strictly defined cases, in case of rape, incest, threat to the life and health of the mother or fetus. The survey also revealed a significant drop in presidential approval, 10% among Hispanic co-religionists, although they are traditionally considered reliable Democratic voters. He's looking for someone to blame. The reason for the discontent was Biden's immigration policy. At first glance, it seems paradoxical. He has done the exact opposite compared to his predecessor, Donald Trump. Glorious Catholic Joe stopped the construction of the wall on the border with Mexico on the first day of his presidency. Later, he canceled the Stay in Mexico program and froze deportations for 100 days. A U.S. border guard vehicle moving along the construction of the unfinished wall, is in the video, in the pictures. Now, soon after, about 12,000 immigrants entered America, and every month their number increased. Controlling the flows was becoming more and more difficult. The situation worsened when refugees from Venezuela, Nicaragua, and Cuba arrived at the U.S.-Mexico border. The result was the collapse of the southern states. According to Customs and Border Protection, about 1,300 aliens pass through El Paso, Texas, every single day. Texas Governor Greg Abbott was one of the first to try to solve the problem. He started sending people by plane to New York and Washington. He also ostentatiously sent 2 busloads of illegal immigrants directly to the residence of Vice President Kamala Harris, who oversees immigration policy. Abbott's example was followed by his colleagues from other states. For example, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis ordered a group of refugees to be transferred to fashionable Martha's Vineyard, Massachusetts. Similar deportations in Chicago were carried out by Arizona authorities, and this approach was immediately condemned by Catholic clergy. Texas Archbishop Gustavo Garcia Siller said, "Using the unfortunate as pawns offends God, destroys society, and shows how low one can stoop for personal gain." Migrants near a bridge, Rio Grande, that's where they only take about 2 minutes to get across. Now, he also added that such tactics are tantamount to human trafficking, the bishop said, and he characterized as abnormal the actions of the political leaders who do not take the problem seriously. Another Texas prelate, Bishop Daniel Flores of Brownsville, threatened judgment of God against the scandalous officials. They, by the way, regularly go to service. The governors are justified. Their actions are a protest against the liberal policies of the Biden administration, and bets did not pay off. The White House, in turn, accuses state leaders of boosting their own rates, and the foul Texas, Florida, Arizona, and other revolutionary areas are governed by Republicans. Still, ordinary citizens blame Biden for everything. It's natural to hold the highest authority responsible. It's natural to think of rulers as responsible for administration, and people see the consequence of this, said Roman Lunkin, head of the Center for the Study of Religion and Society in the Institute of Europe of the Russian Academy of Sciences. The expert explains why Latin American Catholics no longer support a single president. According to him, the American leader, quote, bet on the wrong people. In confessional diversity in the U.S., as in politics, there is a two-party model, conservatives versus liberals. Thus, among Catholics, there are defenders of biblical values and supporters of new social norms. Biden decided to lean on the latter, Lunkin said. But the pendulum of public acceptance swung in the direction of traditionalists. The economy played an important role. Some Catholics, feeling the effects of inflation, preferred stable food and gasoline prices to abortion rights. So now the expert concludes Biden faces a dilemma on which his political future depends. Fight the Republicans or find a new approach to once loyal voters? And this is from a Greek article I've translated for you. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.